Have you ever wondered what would happen if the sun just didn't rise one morning? Well, we're about to dive into that exact idea with the incredible Filipino story of Datu Punggo and the Missing Sun. It's this really powerful tale about courage, empathy, and, believe it or not, the amazing strength we find when we choose understanding over fear. So let's get into it.
I mean, really think about that for a second. You wake up, and there's just nothing. Only darkness. That's exactly what happens in the village of Mapagasa. And as you can imagine, it's total chaos. Panic spreads, people are stumbling around in this endless night, and fear is just everywhere.
So in a world that's been completely plunged into darkness, someone has to step up, right? This is that classic call to adventure moment, and a very, very unlikely hero is about to answer it.
So while everyone else is lost in fear, one person stands firm. And it's not some big, tough warrior, it's a small boy named Datu Punggo. While the whole world is consumed by this darkness, his bravery just shines. He sees a problem, and he knows something has to be done. And then he says it, this one powerful line that pretty much says, if the sun won't come to us, I'll be the one to go find it. You know, this tells you everything you need to know about him. He's not waiting for a hero to show up, he is the hero. That's his promise to his people.
But hey, no hero does it all alone. Datu's joined by his friend Lyra, who's a singer with this amazing connection to nature, and it's her who gives them their first huge clue. She literally hears a whisper on the wind that the sun didn't just disappear, it's been taken. And just like that, they have a mission.
Okay, so Datu and Lyra set out, and they are fully expecting to fight some kind of fearsome monster. But what they find up on that mountaintop is something else entirely. It's a surprise that's going to test them in a way they never saw coming.
Now you can see it right here on the slide. This is a total flip of their expectations. On the one hand, what they were ready for, a huge, terrifying beast. But on the other hand, the reality, just a small little creature shivering in the cold. So you see, this isn't a story about good versus evil. It's about a problem that was born out of pure desperation.
And then we hear it, straight from the so-called villain himself. His name is Anino, which means shadow, and he confesses. He says, I am always so cold and afraid. I just wanted to feel its warmth. Wow, he wasn't being malicious. He was just desperate to feel something we take for granted every single day. That one realization just changes everything.
And this right here is the first big lesson of the story. Datu Punggo sees Anino's fear, and instead of pulling out a sword, he responds with compassion. He gets that what Anino needs isn't a fight, but a little help. So together, they free the sun from the ice it was trapped in, and the light comes back. Empathy saved the day, not violence.
But this story doesn't stop there. When they get back to the village, something amazing happens. The people of Mapagasa, they follow Datu's lead. Instead of running from Anino, they welcome him. They see his connection to shadows not as a scary thing, but as a unique talent. They give him paper and light, and he becomes the star of their brand new Festival of Light with his shadow puppets.
Okay, so harmony is restored, everyone's happy, but you know how these stories go. Just when you think it's all wrapped up, a new challenge appears. And this next part is going to test if that lesson of empathy has really truly stuck.
The festival is cut short by the sudden, biting cold. And it's not just the weather changing, it's the arrival of a new, much more powerful character. Lamek Dawn, the guardian of the ice cloud. And unlike Anino, he's not misunderstood. He is here for a confrontation. Lamek Dawn's reason for being here is crystal clear. He believes the sun doesn't belong to a creature of shadow like Anino. He basically represents this old, rigid way of thinking, this idea that warmth and light are only for certain people. He's here to enforce the old rules by force if he has to.
So how does Datu handle this? This is a direct threat, but his strategy is it's genius. He completely de-escalates the situation. You can see the breakdown here. First, Lamek Dawn confronts them. The three friends stand together to defend the sun. But then, instead of drawing a weapon, Datu starts a conversation. And his final move? It's the most powerful of all, an invitation.
This is it, the absolute climax of the story. Datu looks at this fearsome guardian and says, you don't have to be our enemy. You can join us. With that one simple offer, he just dismantles the whole conflict. He's showing Lamek Dawn that their circle isn't closed. There's room for him too.
And that brings us to the story's beautiful resolution. And you'll see, it's not about one side winning and the other losing. It's about creating something new and even better by bringing two opposite forces into perfect balance.
Lamek Dan accepts. He stays. And just like with Anino, his unique nature becomes a gift to the village. The Guardian of Cold teaches them how to make ice that never melts. A pretty useful thing to have alongside a warm sun, right? The community is now stronger, not in spite of their differences, but because of them.
At the very end of his journey, Datu Punggo gives us the story's big takeaway, its central theme. He says, Ang liwanag at lamig parehong mahalaga, which means light and cold both are important. It's such a simple line, but it captures the entire lesson perfectly. Harmony isn't about getting rid of what's different, but about recognizing that everything has value.
So the story really leaves us with a big question to chew on, doesn't it? Datu Punggo's journey shows us that a little empathy can totally disarm fear, and that being inclusive can turn enemies into friends. It really makes you wonder, where in our own world, in our own communities, can we apply that same kind of magic? It's a powerful thought. Thanks so much for diving into this with me today.